The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Ah, shit. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Glenn Spillman, and you are listening to Sports Insider on Armed Radio. What's up, everybody, around the world and across the United freaking States of America? And I tell you what, for those of you watching, if you will go to TuneIn and download the app, or you can just go to TuneIn and listen to it on the radio. Listen as well, because we're trying out something new now, and where one of these cameras is messing up, so I am going to put it on this other camera. But hey, we're going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff here tonight. We're going to be talking about Jerry freaking Jones. We're going to be talking about Roger Goodell, and we are going to be talking about some of the debacle that has been going on in the world of sports. We've got a guest on the show that's going to be talking sports. She lives in Austin, Texas, but hey, don't let it fool you though. She lives in Austin, Texas. Her name is Kasy Spears, but she is not, I repeat, she is not a Longhorn fan, and thank God for that. You know, went to the University of Oklahoma, and I'm going to bring me that, please. We're going to have her on a little bit later, and I'm going to switch out cameras here, and seems like our iPad Mini is on the fritz here, so we're going to put the iPad Pro up here, and we're going to let the fine folks across the world watch the show. It is going to be, but anyway, hey Kasy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah,
Down with the horns.
Yeah, freaking right, dude. Down with the horns. The horns could have a glass of suck it. What is your as far as sports go? What is your favorite sport? Period. Your favorite sport?
It's a toss-up between football and baseball. I'm a Cowboys fan. And a Raiders fan. That's my backup team. I like the Rangers and the New York Yankees and the Dallas Mavericks. So,
what? I mean, dude, what have you heard about the Dallas Mavericks this year? Nothing.
I believe they just won a game. I think against the Sacramento Kings. Don't quote me on that.
As I like to call them, the Sacramento Queens.
Probably correct.
Sacramento Queens. They're doing pretty good this year. Actually, the Sacramento Kings won the game last night on a last minute shot, and they won 109-108. You know, I asked my daughter to make me some summer sausage earlier, and she's just jacking around, playing with her bike. But yeah, they won 109-108. As far as the Dallas Mavericks go, you know, they are kind of a little bit in abysmal land.
Yeah.
A little bit. And, well, a lot of it, actually. They've won 2 games this whole season.
Yeah.
They've won 2 games, lost 10 games. They are, in fact, the worst team in the NBA. The worst.
It is a sad fact.
Yeah, it's very sad. But, I mean, they started out the season good. They won the first game. They lost the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh game. They won against the Memphis Grizzlies. And they're just losing. They did, in fact, lose against the Sacramento Queens, 93-88. So, are you still a Mavericks fan? All of that soliloquy about your team?
I think a true fan is a person who can support their team whether they're winning or losing. Because the Dallas Cowboys have not been to the Super Bowl ages, and I still support them. And so I support the Mavericks regardless if they're winning or losing because I am a true fan of them.
Okay, well that I will 100% accept that. Does that you're absolutely right. The true fan is somebody that is a fan through thick and thin, through everything. And my daughter actually did the down with the horns thing. That's right, babe. Down with the freaking horns. I mean, I do like the Dallas Cowboys. The reason why I like the Dallas Cowboys because I went to the University of Oklahoma, and a lot of OU guys have played for the Dallas Cowboys. And the last time that the Dallas Cowboys went to the the Super Bowl, 1995. They had Troy Aikman, they had Michael Irving, they had Emmitt Smith, all those cats.
The powerhouse.
And, yeah.
Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, there is something that I would like to discuss, and that's the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I have actually watched recently the making of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders team.
Oh,
and when they first opened the stadium, I thought, cheerleaders are ditzy little, people. And there's a lot of athleticism going into becoming a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. And I have a lot of respect for those ladies now that I didn't before. And
well, besides the athleticism, do you know that the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, some of them are teachers, some of them are, there's been a couple of lawyers on there that they get paid about, I think the last time I checked, it was under $20 per game. But where they make their money is the endorsements and the calendars and all that kind of stuff.
Right. They don't actually get a whole lot from that. It's just the privilege of being on the team that is world class. And honestly, growing up, I thought the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders were the only team out there. I did not know of any other team. Because that was the only thing that you saw on TV or, anywhere. That's all you heard. That's all I ever heard of was the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. So they are a world-class team, and they go.
Yeah, they were known as, they still are. I mean, people call them America's team. But whether they are or not, that could be argued by anybody. For those of you who are watching, we've got Nate Wren over here on our Facebook page. What's up, Nate, brother? And Periscope TV, and everyone else in the 60 countries that are watching around the world. You guys could make comments, ask questions, anything about sports, and we will accommodate you. And sorry, I've got a guest on the line, so you guys will not be able to hear what I hear, but if you go to Armed Radio, or tune in and look up Armed Radio, you can listen to the show live and listen to what Kasy's saying. At any rate, we will. Sports Insider is going to be at the fights tomorrow night at the Thunder Valley Casino. We've got Gladiator Challenge rolling out there. And for those of you who like MMA fighting, I mean, it is. I mean, it's got some good fighters. Have you been to a fight, Kasy? MMA fight?
Yeah, actually, I have. I've also been to rodeos, which surprisingly is a huge.
What the hell does a
sport.
rodeo have to do with MMA?
It does not, but they kind of do ride. It may, there might be a correlation whenever they, I guess suppress them. It might be like riding a bull.
Yeah. The fight is called holiday. Instead of greetings, called holiday beatings.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then they have another one in December 16th.
That is my birthday.
Oh, there you go. This one's called Seasons Beating. So.
La 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 la.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Where the crap did all that go? I gotta give a shout out to this cat, and I said I would on my show. And I'm not gonna be a liar. There is a supplement company. It's called Max Nutrition. For those of you that are viewing the show right here, Max Nutrition. I went in there, man, and the guy at the gym that I work out at, he said, "Hey, man, we got this new supplement company that we've been talking to. It's called Max Nutrition. Go check them out." And I did. And the guy, pretty freaking cool to talk to. I mean, excuse me, people. I had to eat a piece of summer sausage, man. I'm freaking starving. They've been there for about 22 years, and they sell high-quality supplements. Not like, your other corporate companies that sell what they're told to sell. On this coupon, it's got a free drink out of the fridge, free $50 Ask How, and 20% off your entire order for the first time. I picked up one of these bars. It's called a One Bar right here. It's a protein bar, and it's holiday flavored. It only has 1 gram of sugar. It's got 21 grams of protein. I'm gonna try it out, see what it tastes like, because he said, on the film set that I was on the past couple weekends was this guy. He's Mr. Nevada. He's 53 years old, and he's walking around at 6% body fat. His name is Troy. And he used to be a powerlifter, really big guy, and he was kind of chubby. But then, now he's walking around at 6%. And we were talking, hey, man, you need, low carbs, no carbs after 4, this, that, and the other thing. And so I've been doing that for since November 1st, and I've lost about 7 or 8 pounds. So I'm walking around right now at 250 pounds, and I'm doing exactly, for those of you who want this guy to do a nutrition plan for you, proof's in the pudding, man. If a guy looks like him says, hey, man, I can get you to where you want to be, I'm going to freaking listen. So, and everyone that's listening, I do not snort cocaine. I just have a little bit of cold, and I'm still lingering from my kids. So, I'm giving Max Nutrition a shout out because the guy is really cool to me. I got a bar. He gave me a shaker, which is like $8, and I got a big freaking bottle of protein. He gave me all of that stuff for $40, and just the protein alone was $40. So, so I'm going to give the guy a shout out. Now, he does have a web presence. Now, he is in California. He does have a web presence, and he's got high-quality stuff. If you want to go to maxnutrition.com in Citrus Heights, California, tell him that Glenn Spillman from Sports Insider sent you, and the guy will hook you up, man. The guy will hook you up and give you good quality, top-notch supplements that will not that you won't find anywhere else because he sells some really good stuff. So let's talk about Boston for a second, since we are in a Boston radio station, Armed Radio, out of Boston, Massachusetts. Which I'm going to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to Boston. Sports Insider will be in Boston, Massachusetts next June or next July, sometime in the summer. We're going to go to Boston, Mass, and I'm going to have Joe Savino and Jimmy Bell. They're going to take me to a Red Sox game because I'm not going to buy a freaking ticket because I'm a Yankees fan. So they're going to take me to a restaurants game or a Red Sox game, and I hope that they point me into a direction. I am a foodie, foodie, and I want them to show me, hey man, these are staple places in Boston that you gotta go freaking eat. We're going to be doing a show live, and Boston's going to be a lot of fun. But Kyrie Irving, he's monitored for a concussion after Aaron Baines elbowed him in the freaking face. You know, he's holding his face with a towel, and yeah, that just freaking happened. So, was being monitored for a possible concussion. You know, what's going to happen with that, we don't know. But concussions are pretty freaking serious, man. You want to monitor any time that you get hit in the head. At any time, you want to monitor it. So, Kasy, as far as sports go, where you're at, I know you got the freaking Longhorns.
Down with the horns.
Oh, someone said nice pick with the Chiefs last week. Absolutely. Down with the freaking Horns. So what kind of sports do they have in your neck of the woods? I know they got the Round Rock Express. They got the Texas Longhorns, down with the Horns. What else do they got there?
Well, there is some other things that, you know, mainstream and unmainstream. They've got disc golf here, which is very popular. Bicycling. Disc golf.
Oh, disc.
Disc golf, yeah.
I didn't know if that was like a new sport or something. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a.
I figured if it was dick golf, it'd be more like in San Francisco or something. But
that and also bicycling. Bicycling is huge here because Lance Armstrong got this started. But we've got
the one ball master. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, there is something called wake surfing, where you basically, it's like wakeboarding, but it's surfing on the wake here on Lake Travis.
I was going to say, yeah, there's no freaking ocean by you. It's an extra, is the closest place to you.
That's a couple hours away.
For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to Sports Insider. My name is Glenn Spillman. You're listening to us on Armed Radio. For those of you viewing us, you can comment, ask questions, and for those of you listening around the world in 60 countries, all across the United States, I want to invite you to be a sponsor on our show. Okay? You can contact me, Glenn Spillman. You can contact Armed Radio. You can talk to Joe Savino. Whoever you want to talk to, you can talk to me, be on sponsor on my show. The set that you see right now behind me, it's, obviously it's a brick wall and it's got some stuff on there. But say if you're a certain sandwich company or a certain beer company and you want the entire set to be your logo and everything like that, I will say this is you're listening to Sports Insider coming at you from XYZ Studios. And if you guys want to do that, any sponsor out there that wants to be a sponsor on the show, you can go to sportsinsideronline.com. All my information's there. You can get a hold of me, and we'll make it freaking happen. So, Friday night, tomorrow is the big day for college freaking football. I always, on a Friday night, I do some on Wednesdays, but always on a Friday night, I will give out parlays, people, and freaking OU, OSU. I told you guys to pick the over on that. Over. And they did. They scored like 100, almost 120 points. So, let's go down the line a little bit. So Washington at Stanford. You got Washington minus 6.5. That's up to you. I'm not going to give you a parlay on that. That's up to you. I will give you my opinion. Washington over Stanford. I think Washington will cover that. Kasy, what do you think? Think Washington will cover that? It's 6.5 points.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Got USC number 11 at Colorado. USC by 14. Now USC is 8-2. USC has had a problem this year with playing football, period. Yes, they're 8-2, but they have issues. They're favored by 14 points. But I take that as a lock, probably against Colorado, because Colorado is 5-5. But I'm going to save the big game for last. So you got number 12, Michigan State, against number 13, Ohio State, in Columbus, Ohio. OSU's favored by 17. I don't think they're going to cover the 17 points. If they win, I think they'll win by less than 10. Rutgers at Penn State. Rutgers is 4-5. Penn State 7-2. Penn State's favored by 31 points. It's in Pennsylvania, so that might. I don't know if they're going to cover 31 points, but here's the game that you've got number 15 Oklahoma State 7-2 against number 21 6-3 Iowa State. Oklahoma State's favored by 6.5. They're playing in Ames, Iowa. I want Iowa State to beat Oklahoma State. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your first one. Take Iowa State and the points. Because whatever it is, take them. Because they beat OU in Norman. Iowa State is plus 190. So that means if you bet $100, you will win $190 plus your $100 back. I don't like OSU. I will not ever go for OSU. So there's your first one. Iowa State.
You don't like Pistol Pete?
No, Pistol Pete can
to be your
suck it. Do you know when I went to OU, my fraternity stole Pistol Pete's head and hid it. They couldn't find it.
You took Pistol Pete.
Yes, I freaking did.
Oh.
No, I say we did. Did I just admit to a crime over the air?
I think you did.
I plead the fifth.
I would think you'd play insanity first.
Oh, I'm definitely insane, and people that watch the show could attest to that. You got number 1 Georgia 9-0 against number 10 Auburn 7-2. It's played in Auburn, Alabama, and Georgia's only favored by 2. I would take Auburn as an upset. Auburn has the chance to knock off number 1 Georgia, and I hope they do. Florida State, Clemson 15.5. There's your other parlay. Take Clemson and the points. Clemson's going to easily win over Florida State. There's a lot of drama going on with Florida State, the players, the coaching staff, and whatnot. Alabama, number 2 against number 16, Mississippi State, 7-2. They're playing in Starkville, Mississippi. It's going to be 66 degrees. And then, of course, you've got number 3, Notre Dame against number 7, Miami. Now, someone earlier on the show said Notre Dame is a lock. No, they're not. First off, you're playing in 83 degrees, Miami, Florida. You've got Miami, 8-0, the U. I'm saying, take this as an upset. Take number 7, Miami, over number 3, freaking Notre Dame. Now, the biggest game, I believe, of the entire weekend is Texas Christian University, number 6, 8-1. They're 5-1 in the Big 12, against number 5, 8-1, also 5-1 in the Big 12, the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma Sooners, Boomer Sooner, baby, right here with my cup.
Boomer Sooners.
They're playing in Norman, Oklahoma. You got Baker Mayfield with 3,266 yards, 28 touchdowns so far on the season. Oklahoma is 64.5% chance to win this game, and the money line is plus 200 on TCU and minus 250 on OU. So, Kasy, real quick, who do you have in this game? As a formality, I have to ask, and why?
The TCU or an OU game?
An OU, yeah.
So you're telling me I need to choose between a horny toad and OU?
Well, yeah.
That would be OU, without a doubt.
Why do you think that OU? I mean, Texas Christian is a pretty, decent team.
It's a beautiful campus. It's a
decent team, but I don't think they're going to come in Norman and beat the Sooners because now the rushing yards, TCU, you've got Anderson with 121 carries, 726 yards, and 7 TDs. That's their top guy, and then of course Sermon for OU only has 95 carries, 568 yards with 4 TDs. So TCU has the edge on the rushing. The receiving, however, you've got Diarse with 25 receptions, 404 yards, 2 touchdowns from TCU, is going up against Brown with 38 receptions, 743 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I think what Oklahoma did last week against OSU, what pissed me off was the freaking defense. How, in the name of God, Buddha, Allah, whatever the fuck you want to freaking talk about, okay, and all that stuff, how did Oklahoma State score 52 points against the Sooners? The defense was sucking it up. So
I think that they were gloating from the win with Texas because they beat Texas so good, and that's
they're lucky
rivalry.
They beat OSU. I don't think you saw the game, but I think you were off doing something else. But yeah. I watched the game with my son, and OU just, come on, brother. What is up with the freaking now? That ups their points per game. Now Texas Christian University scores 35.8 points per game. Okay. OU though, on the other hand, scores on average 45 points per game. So they win on that. Texas Christian University allows 13.9 points a game. OU allows 28.2. I promise you, on everything holy, I don't care who you worship or who you pray to, OU is going to score more than 13.9 points in that freaking game. They will score on their first 2 possessions. Bam, bam. 14-0 over TCU. So, what do you got to say about that, Kasy?
You know what? I can't argue with that kind of logic.
No, you cannot. Absolutely not. It just struck me funny. I was looking on the net earlier today. This has nothing to do with sports, but it was on a sports site that I was looking at. And it said 57 Amish facts that will make you cringe. Speaking of Amish, I'm finishing up watching a movie. Supposed to be, when they say, oh, true events, blah, it's filmed in that type of manner. It is called Amish Witches. I'm only like 20 minutes into it. I'll finish it tonight, but I don't know. It has nothing to do with sports, but it freaking struck me funny. So that's going to be, to me, the game of the day. Oh, and first off, let me pause for a second. Anybody out there who is a veteran of the armed forces, I salute you. And notice I did that correctly. I didn't have my thumb down like all those little cocksuckers out there that do that. I salute you and thank you for your service. I myself
thank you.
am a veteran. I served in both the Army and the Navy. And I served full term, and I've seen many, many combat situations. And I respect everybody in the armed forces no matter what you do, whether you sit behind a desk or whether you're out on the front lines. Just because you're out on the front lines does not make you a better soldier than anybody else. So, on that note, anybody that's in the Sacramento area tomorrow, get a hold of me, all right? Go to my Facebook page, Glenn Spillman. Get a hold of me. Let's go to lunch together, man. We get free, like here in town, we get a free lunch at Applebee's. Let's start with breakfast. Breakfast, you got IHOP and Denny's. I'm going to go to Denny's for the Grand Slam, okay? Then, for lunch, you've got Texas Roadhouse, you've got Red Lobster, you've got Applebee's, you got Chili's, you got Outback Steakhouse, are the big ones. Starbucks is giving away a free tall coffee. That's kind of gay. I wish they would do something. I wish they would say, you know what, if you're a veteran, pick any drink that you want. A tall coffee is nothing. I mean, that's like, I don't mean to sound,
so cheap.
I don't mean to sound like a dick, but I mean, come on now, a tall coffee, what is that? I mean, even if you buy it, it's like $1.95. I mean, give me a specialty coffee, man. Give me a freaking peppermint mocha, brother. But anyway, thank you, veterans, for all your service. And
thank you.
Yeah. So let's go to the NFL. I'm going to give you some parlays there. Now, I'm surprised the freaking Next Prophet's not on the freaking show, you little freaking douchebag. I was going to talk about the Saints, but the Saints going into Bills. Saints go marching in. I think they're going to win that game. Oh, you know what's funny? I'm going to tell you something funny. Want to hear something funny? And since we're so close to California, and I'm saying this, and let me preface this, that I'm saying it in a comedic way. So if I'm a stand-up comedian, I would ask you, what is a homosexual's favorite football team? I'm asking you, Kasy, what's a homosexual's favorite football team?
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking something that involves balls.
No, it is the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, God.
What is their...
You're going to go to hell for that, Glenn.
What is their favorite position player?
Let me see. Tight end.
Yes, the tight end. Yeah. And you know what? Let's go with the birds. What's their favorite bird?
Swallows.
A swallow. Yeah. What's their favorite cereal?
I'm trying to think of cereal. Something with chocolate.
No, Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
That's freaking funny. I don't care who you are. Packers, Bears. This is what I was going to say real quick before I got sidetracked. The coldest game that's going to be played tomorrow, I believe it's going to be in Pennsylvania, where they're going to be playing like 34 degrees. So, I'm going to go through these games, Kasy. I'm just going to name the teams, and you tell me who do you think is going to win, okay? So let's start at the top. Saints and Bills.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say Saints.
Okay, Kasy says the Saints, for those of you watching. Packers, Bears.
You know what? I want to say this because of SNL. The Bears.
The Bears.
Bears.
Browns and Lions.
That's reminding me, the Browns are reminding me of the gay joke that you did.
All right, that's all right.
I'm going to go with the Lions on that one.
Okay.
The Bears, yeah.
Bengals, Titans.
Oh.
I'm
I'm going to say Titans.
Okay. Steelers, Colts.
You know what? I think I'm going to go with Steelers.
Okay. Jets, Buccaneers.
You know, I like Pirates, so I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
All right. Vikings, Redskins.
Hmm.
I think Vikings are like the original Pirates.
They are the original Pirates. I'm going to go with the original Pirates on that one.
Yeah, because Sam Bradford from OU is a freaking quarterback. Chargers, Jaguars.
You know what? I'm not a fan of San Diego, so I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
They're no longer San Diego, but okay. Texans, Rams.
I'm going to go with Texans.
Okay, Cowboys, Falcons.
Cowboys.
Giants, 49ers.
That is a hard one.
Haha, yeah, that's what she said.
It's 49ers. You know, my gut's saying 49ers.
Okay, Patriots, Broncos. Now remember, we're on a Boston station. Patriots or Broncos?
You know, I was actually going to go with the Patriots.
Okay, not that you got to show them favoritism. I don't. They could suck it. Dolphins, Panthers.
Oh gosh. I'm kind of partial to the Dolphins.
Okay, so here are my picks, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you betting, here are my picks that I'm going to give you. Saints over the Bills. Bears over the Packers. Lions over the Browns. Titans over the Bengals. Steelers over the Colts. Jets over the Buccaneers. Vikings over the Redskins. Jaguars slaughtering the Chargers. Rams over Texans. Cowboys over Falcons. Giants over 49ers. Patriots over Broncos. And the Panthers over the Dolphins. So far, the coldest game is going to be 42 degrees in Buffalo, New York. The Bills and the Saints. The hottest game is going to be played at 82 degrees in Tampa Bay, Florida. So where you're at,
those
Kasy?
People who are going into those cold games, get those little hand warmers, and be sure to have your Snuggie too.
I got a hand warmer for them in my pants. All right. Where you're at right now, what's the weather like?
It is flipping cold. It is 42 degrees right now.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. Usually we're in the 80s. It is 42, but tomorrow we're supposed to go back up into the 70s. So it's just a cold snap, and then we're supposed to be back up into the 80s. You know, they got a saying in Texas: if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. And
right now, as we speak, right now it is 58 degrees.
Wow.
Right now, 5'8". Tomorrow it's going to be 61. It's going to be in the low 60s, but it's still if you put a wetsuit on, it's still good surf weather. I will say that.
Or diving weather.
Yeah. So, what is your when it comes to sports? What is your favorite? Okay, let's. You like basketball? You like football? Okay.
Yeah.
Basketball. Who's your favorite basketball player presently? Not some freaking douche that played 20 years ago.
I do not know.
You like the Mavericks? Just say Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki, yeah.
All right, cool. Favorite football player?
You know what? I am an Emmitt Smith fan, and he's not even a player anymore.
Speaking of Emmitt Smith, what do you think about Ezekiel Elliott and his freaking douchebagness and the emergency hearing that said you can suck it and you're going to be suspended again. What do you think about that? Now, he pulled down, during the parade, he pulled down this girl's top 3 times and showed her tit.
Yeah.
And he's like, ha ha ha, funny, funny. If that was your daughter and he pulled down and showed her tit, what would you do? Would you drop the N-word and be like, yo, blank?
He'd be a girl. He'd be, I make him feel like a woman. Yeah. I'm very protective of my girls, so yeah, I would definitely make him feel like a woman.
What do you think about Jerry Jones? Let's talk about this for a minute. What do you think about Jerry Jones? Yesterday, they were talking about filing a lawsuit against the that he considered filing yesterday against the NFL and other owners and whatnot. And he says it has nothing to do with how Ezekiel Elliott was treated. I call bullshit on that. This is what Jerry Jones said, and I quote, I basically feel this extension of Roger, doesn't even call him Roger Goodell, just calls him Roger. Yeah. It's kind of like calling him a bitch. This extension of Roger should go and be reviewed and approved by all owners, not just a few of the owners. The committee that basically negotiates the salary with our commissioner is taking the view, especially the chairman, that they, in a limited group, can complete this agreement. I disagree. It's a long quote. I continue. This is simply about making sure that all clubs have input, and not only the commissioner and his extension, but also in future years, his decisions. We all see how impactful a commissioner's decision can be in many years. We've given him a lot of power. I think we need the checks and balances of ownership, having to actually be in a position to not just suggest, but approve of his suggestions. So that's what this is about, end quote. What do you think about that? Your beloved Cowboys owner, Jerry the Fairy Jones.
Well, the thing is Jerry is running a business. The Dallas Cowboys is a business, and his players are his employees, and that is part of his what fuels money into his business are the players. And in Texas they have what's called the good old boy system, where it is something I grew up in, and it's not right, but it's something that happens today. It's basically that 1950s thinking of where you look the other way. You look the other way when inappropriate things like that happen. And it is also about the entitlement that players feel because they are spoiled so much with money, with gifts, and with endorsements. I mean, they're loaded.
Hookers?
And hookers, yeah. They actually, to entice them to go to the team, they actually will take them on the town, take them to strip clubs, get them hookers, whatever they want, so they'll sign with the team. They actually do that, but that's something that they do underneath the table that they don't
no
talk
pun
about.
intended.
Yeah, actually, pretty much, whatever they want. And that's what they call the country club, locker talk, is things like that. And the women, they look the other way, they get paid, and they go on about their business. There's actually clubs in Dallas that they go to for specific, perks, as you would say. And there's certain strip clubs in there that for perks, and the strip clubs can ask for more money from patrons because, hey, this Dallas Cowboys person, he likes to come here. It's a great effort.
The top 3 strip clubs in Dallas are the Spearmint Rhino. They serve food and booze, and nudity level is topless. The number 2 is the Men's Club. It's in Koreatown. And the number 1 strip club in Dallas, Texas is called The Lodge.
Yep. I know where that is. I've driven past it many times. It is in a swanky neighborhood, and it
Did
is
you
the
strip
lodge.
there
And that
at
is
one
the one
time?
that they. I have not been there.
I'm just
I've
checking.
driven past it.
I don't know if you're like a former employee.
No, and my parents would kick you in the hiney for that.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
But yeah, it's the level of entitlement. I mean, you do not know how many times you hear on the news where one of the sports people have come out of the lodge stinking drunk and have crossed over many lanes of 360 and sped off in their expensive cars, cause accidents, and they actually, the police, if they pull over a Dallas Cowboys person, they will look the other way and send them on, even if they're stinking drunk. It's basically like a bro code. The good old boy system is like the bro code. And they want to keep those players there, so as long as their team is winning, that city is going to be generating money. So they want to keep them happy. So I think he's doing whatever it takes to keep his player happy and keep money coming towards his team. All the teams do it. So it's bro code.
Bro code
Not
to
right.
the hoe code.
Yeah, it's not right, but it's tolerated right now.
If you had for one day, I gave you a magic wand, and I said, you are the commissioner of the NFL for one day, giving you the wand. What would you do as the commissioner of the NFL? What would you do in that one day?
Ooh. Well, considering that the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar business.
Yes.
Wow. I would love the game to be returned back to when my grandfather played the game, which they were called Leatherheads.
Oh, you know what? I believe at one point in time, I saw a original sweater uniform worn by your grandfather.
Right. He was part of what is called the Staley. Before they became the Bears, they were called
the Bears.
The Bears.
Bears.
They were called Staleys, and basically, anyone who lives in Decatur, Illinois, calls it Stinky Staleys because it stinks. Because of the soy, it stinks. But yeah, he was part of the Staleys, the original football team. And we have the helmet, we have the jersey, and everything. My grandfather could tell you some stories. I mean, from World War II, everything. So, but yeah, back then, they didn't get paid. They did it for the love of the sport. They didn't have, they had a leather helmet to protect their head. They didn't have all this fancy equipment. They were full on contact. It wasn't like tag football.
Is that possibly one of the things that was influenced by the George Clooney film Leatherheads? Yep,
absolutely. Absolutely. That is exactly what that came from. Very good film, too. And very truthful. I mean, it is absolutely a little bit of Hollywood spin on it, but it is pretty truthful.
Yeah, Hollywood, that's what they do. They always got to put a spin on their freaking crap.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about this. I talked about prior that I was domestic. I was a victim. Now, granted, I'm a 250-pound man. I'm not fat. I'm muscular. I'm very well built. And I was beat on by a woman last Thursday night. And she was arrested and taken to jail, felony assault, and $50,000 bond, blah, blah, blah. But just because I'm big doesn't mean it didn't hurt or anything like that. And I'm not, like, crying or anything. But we've talked about domestic violence on this show many times, and now people get away with stuff. She got away with domestic violence. If I would have done that to any woman, I would have been crucified, locked up, thrown away the key. The DA let her go and said, lack of evidence. As a woman, how do you feel about a man being viciously assaulted in a domestic violence by a woman? How do you feel?
I personally think that there should be no difference between a man or a woman. Now, granted, because of society, even society frowns upon the woman. They're always like, what did you do to piss off your husband? Any kind of domestic violence, we need to change our mindset on domestic violence because we shame the victim. It's the victim's fault. It's what did you do to cause that person to be so angry to do that? It's your fault. And we need to change that mindset to going, what the crap? Why did that person attack? It's the person who attacked him. That is their fault. They need to examine themselves on everything, not the victim. It was not the victim's fault. I don't care if that victim was saying you are a effing whatever.
You're a fucking cunt.
Exactly. I mean, you said it. It doesn't matter. The catalyst is how you react to it. And reacting by putting your hand...
Oh, well, you know what? Let me interrupt you real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, cunt is not a bad word. Cunt. No, it's not. You know what it is? You go all the way back to the George Washington days, 1700s. I'm in the military. I was taught this in the military. The brass apparatus that holds the flag in the person's belt, that holds the flag, it is round, and it has a little divot in it that holds the flag. It is brass. It is called a cunt. Okay?
Well, in the oil and gas industry, they call all the parts of the oil derrick women parts. There's dykes, there's boobs, and all kinds of things because there's men in the oil and gas industry, and everything is called a woman part. I mean, there's sexual parts. I mean, there's something called the ass blaster, and as a kid, when we went to the Permian Basin Fair, and what they would do is these guys would take the bumper sticker and they would slap it on your ass and say, you just got ass blasted, because ass blaster is a technology that they use in the oil and gas industry. And we were young kids. We were teenagers.
Right.
Getting that happening, which is another place where they have sexual harassment. I mean, the guys, old farts would be doing that. Old nasty men would be doing that. So we just have to change our mindset as a culture, as a society. We have to evolve beyond this acceptance of this status quo. We're so accepting of, domestic violence and harassment. It's just like, look the other way, because people do not like conflict. They run away from it. They don't want to have anything to do with conflict. So they turn their backs from it. That's why bullies are ignored and allow bullies to bully kids and adults, and people ignore it. There's many YouTube videos where you see people just beating the crap out of each other, and other people are just walking past, taking pictures, and ignoring it. And
Right.
This person's crying out to say, hey, help me. Or like saying, oh, well, you're a guy, don't be a pussy. Go fight back. Well, it's a woman. You're taught never to hit a woman. And a woman
Right.
sometimes takes that as an advantage point and says, okay, well, he's not going to hit me, or he's not going to hit me because I've got glasses on, and I'm going to sit there and lay hands on him because he's not going to do anything.
Right. Which reminds me, one time, and I will say her name. Her name was Mandy. When I went to OU, I dated this girl. Well, you can call it dating. I was fornicating. I was fornicating with this girl named Mandy, and and she got into some bullcrap altercation because she was this stupid twat that was like, she was a stalker. I remember she started punching herself in the face and said, "Quit hitting me." And I was like, I'm out, bro. And I left. I mean, I never got
There are
accused.
women who will cry rape when they haven't been raped because they know that's the cue word to say, and that's something that is wrong. You don't cry rape unless you have been raped. And I think women who use that's absolutely wrong. That should be a crime. That should be a crime.
Hey, well, real quick, speaking of crime, we got 3 more minutes before we are off the air. And we're having a good show and good conversation. Now, why don't you go ahead, real quick, take 30 seconds and talk about who you are, what you do, and about your books.
Okay. Well, my name is Kasy, and I'm an international best-selling author.
Say your last name so they can find you.
Spears. It'll be under Cassandra Spears, Kasondra. Spears, like Britney Spears. You can also find me on Twitter at Kasy, Kasy_Spears, and I follow back anybody who follows me. I also have a YouTube page called Kasy's Vlog, and I vlog about various things. I've got books on real estate because I'm a real estate broker here in Texas. So if you need to buy or sell a house, I'm your girl. And I have a book coming out. Again, it's a republish called Betrayal. And it's a book about various things. It deals with domestic violence. It deals with child abuse. It deals with child sexual abuse. It deals with parents betraying their children, children betraying their parents. It deals with all kinds of things and mental illness as a whole. And we really truly need to focus on mental illness. And I'm a big advocate for mental illness, people getting help from mental illness. And a lot of crimes are committed because people do not get the help, and our system is broken. And
okay. All right, I'm going to interrupt you there. We've got like less than a minute left.
Yeah.
What in college football or in football, what is your prediction for the biggest upset this weekend?
Oh gosh.
I'm saying Iowa State over OSU. That's what I'm saying. What do you got?
You know what? I would actually agree with that. I would agree with that. Out of everything, I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of a Hail Mary type of thing.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for watching the show. I want to thank everybody across the world and across the United States listening to the show. My name is Glenn Spillman. You've been listening to Sports Insider on Armed Radio out of Boston, Massachusetts. I want to thank my producer, Jimmy Bell. Check out his show, Hot Talk with Jimmy Bell. It's not about marijuana. It's about politically offensive talk. We are on air every single Wednesday and every single Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Check us out. Go to our website, SportsInsiderOnline.com. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend. Peace out. See you next week. I love ya.